Okay, so let's now create our face and add all the elements we want to have and want to animate. So we will have two eyes, one mouth, two brows, and that's all we are going to animate. But as you will see, we need to actually track quite a lot of things to animate those. Right, so I also created this half cylinder that I'm going to share with you as an SCN. So if you look at it, this is nothing really extraordinary. It really is just a half cylinder which I found in the Swift Shot template from Apple. If you haven't played, by the way, I strongly recommend to have a look in the code. It's very dense, and I don't even understand everything myself in there. It's yeah, it's a hell of an app. And anyway, we have those blocks that they share in there. So I'm reusing this, and this is the perfect size that we want to use as well as a mouth for our face here. So if you double click on this half cylinder file, you'll see here we've got the half cylinder, and conveniently the origin of it is in the middle. What we need to do is to copy and paste this here in our face. So paste, and here we've got our half cylinder. As you can see, it's right in the middle. We can't see it now, but if I drag it, it starts to appear here. Excellent. So that I can now rename this as the mouth and put this in the face directly here. Great. Now let's put this down a little like so. Excellent. And let's make sure that it's actually adjusted right at the surface of the face here. Yeah, and we can still see it, so it's all good. Let me make this big. Close this, and here on the side I'm going to make sure that the position of it is 0 here, so that's exactly what I wanted. Perfect. Excellent. So let's now create some eyes, and to do so I'm going to drag a few cylinders in here. Now we need to drag 3 kinds, and I'm going to explain you why. So first, if I drag one, you can see that this window disappears. If you don't want this to disappear, you just hold the Option key and drag, and you can see that now this stayed. So one thing as well is that, as you can see, I've got my half cylinder that's been created in here, which if you try and drag the mouth, it now works because we had the Option key pressed when we opened this, right? So if I close again, so Option and open, now I can drag anything I want in there and have my custom nodes created as we used to in Xcode 9. And also, if I want, I can drag more than one, and this just stays until I close it. Okay, now we have 1, 2, I need a third cylinder. So what we are going to do here is that we are going to have 2 eyes, and we have to have different, actually we don't, do we? So I'm just going to create one cylinder that's going to be the white of the eye, and then the second is going to be the pupil, so basically the black dot inside of the eye. Okay, right, enough talking, let's just resize them. So I'm going to do a 0.3, And here I'm going to do 0.01, so 1 centimeter by 3. Let's drag those out. So yeah, 0.3, that's what I really meant, because otherwise this is huge. Let's go in here, and okay, what we want here now is to reorientate this at 90 degrees, and that's going to be our first white eye, and the second here, 0.1 like this, and that I'm going to put in the middle and pull this a little bit, and I'm going to make this black. So yeah, just black. So that's going to be my eye, and I don't really like the physically based here. I'm just going to use blend, so that's really white. Okay, and so that's going to be my eye. Right, I'm probably gonna be confused about left and right in this section a lot, but we'll debug this as we go. So that's a white, and what we need to do is to put the eye right in the middle here. So if I do 0, 0, okay. And that, oh, is that the pupil? I got it wrong. No, that is the white. Good. And this just needs to be pulled a little bit. Like so. Eye right. Why is this? It is. Oh my god. Okay, so I've done it wrong. This needs to be in the middle of that. So this is the white. Sorry, guys. And this is my eye right. Have I done this right? Yes. Okay, cool. So if I come a bit closer just to have a look, yeah, that doesn't look too bad. We've got our right eye inside of a white here. I'm just going to call this a white for the purposes of this video. And now that I've got this, I can drag and make another one, and just make sure that this eye now is renamed to eye left, because this is what we are going to reference in our code. So far we've got the mouth and the two eyes. Right, excellent. So let's make sure that these are approximately the same distances. So 0.04, 3, and 14.6. Okay, and what about this one? So we want the opposite here. So instead of a minus, I just do a plus, 0.4, and we've got the mouth, and we're pretty good to go. So all I need now is a couple of brows. Let's add some boxes for this. So a box, drag the box in here. Obviously this is way too big, so let's just do 0.03, copy, paste, and paste. Okay, so what do we really need is this to be larger, like so, and probably the height is going to be a bit less, and I'm going to add a bit of a chamfer radius like that. Okay, cool. And this brow is going to be a blend, and it's going to be black. Excellent. Right, so that's our first eyebrow, and if I keep the option key and drag another brow here, we've got a face. Okay, it starts to take shape. Now we need to have another node in here. I'm just going to put right in the middle here of the face. So, and that's going to be called brow. And I'm just going to make sure that it's centered completely, so I can drag this out to the surface. So probably a 15 here. Okay, and it's going to be slightly above, so yeah, 0.05. Okay, and what I want here is to be basically in the middle of those two brows, because we can put those two inside in here, and we will be able to move those independently but also together. So we have a method that will enable us to move those up and down together, but then also, yeah, independently will change the angle. If you're frowning or not, you see that it actually starts to make a very different mood to the face straight away. So let's just put this back to 0, and what I want to do is to have those two boxes just in the middle of 0, 0, 0. Okay, so let's try and get this right. This is the right eye. Okay, so I select one of the brows, pull it on the right, and that's this one. So I'm going to call this brow right, which means that this will be brow left, and I'm going to drag this on that side. And where are they? So they're a bit low. I can actually put them a bit higher this way. Okay, and let's have a look. So 0.04, yeah, 44. Okay, not bad. So maybe this one can be a 4.4 as well. I think that looks okay. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. You can obviously do whatever you want, like if you want to change the face and make it a bit different, feel free, you know, it's entirely up to you. You can make this completely round if you want. You can use a different shape, entirely up to you. So actually, yeah, I'm going to do 0.1 here. Not bad. I want to create a baseball cap. Let's just try and do this live together quickly. So cylinder in here, that's going to be 0.01 in height and 0.1 like this. Yeah, that looks actually more like what I want. The Z, I'm actually going to make this a bit bigger, like a 2, so that creates an oval. Not bad, not bad. Let's just make this a bit lower and a bit 2 is probably too much, like that. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, so command and go back to this kind of mode. Excellent. And then I'm just gonna add a sphere. I could actually reuse this as well, but let's just add a sphere, make this quick, with a much smaller radius, so maybe just a 0.1, 2, and I want that about here. What does this look like? It looks a bit weird. Okay. It looks really weird. Okay, I think I need to make this a bit smaller. That. Okay. if we put you there, I think that's going to be enough. So that's going to be my hat. And the sphere, what if I put this exactly in the middle here, and then pull this back a bit, and well, we have 0.1. I guess it should be a 0.1 as well. Okay, radius 60. It makes a bit better definition. All right, yeah. So, oh yeah, no, that doesn't work for under. Oh my God. Okay, so if I select the hat and pull it right back down, and like this. Yeah, that looks a bit strange. Never mind, I'm gonna pull this a bit more like so. Oh well, I guess that will be good enough. It's really just for fun. There's nothing's gonna be tracked here, but I'm gonna make this physically based blue, and this physically based with an illumination of blue like this, and that's really that's just gonna be enough, right? Cool. Right, let's just run this face, see what that looks like. Obviously we're not animating anything yet, but that's gonna be enough for designing our 3D face. In the next lecture I'm going to show you how to animate the eyes, the mouth, and the brows. Hopefully you will make a better hat than I did. Okay, so as you can see, I did not add everything in the face, only the brows are showing. So let's go back in here. If I close the face, you can see that those three things have been completely left out, but now they're back in, so stop and run. And there we go. Okay, that looks really good. I'm not sure if the mouth is there, I can't really tell. I guess it's here, but we just can't see it. What do you think of my shiny hat? Not too bad, and shiny eyes as well. Okay, cool. So this is working. All we need to do now is so maybe the mouth could be red. So I remove the material and add, oh, it doesn't like this, a new material that's going to be Blinn, and it's going to be red. Cool. All right. What we can do as well is to change this head to something like yellow. And yeah, I'm gonna keep it physically based. It's going to be metallic, but it's also that looks a bit scary actually now. So metallic, and the float value here I'm going to do 8.5, so it's not too shiny basically. Okay, so that's it for the design. Now I'm over with that. Yes, Xcode did quit. Thank you very much. In the next video, I'm going to show you, we're going to go back to code, and we are going to animate our face in real time, actually 60 times every second. See you in the next video.